All right, guys. How's it going, Bama? Alabama? Yeah, first in line. How are you doing tonight, bud? Hope everything's going well for you. That's good. That's really good to hear. I'm doing pretty good myself. Family's doing really good. Sitting down, watching some TV, and relaxing. Yep, she's actually just basically on the other side of the camera on the couch. We have a big open floor space for our living room and kitchen, separated by a three and a half foot wide countertop, and the couch is just on the other side of it, and so she's literally on the other side of the camera. So yeah, she's doing really good. Tonight I'm doing some teriyaki chicken and what were the potatoes called?
I don't remember what they called them.
Just like whole loaded potatoes or something.
I'll look it up real quick.
I'm doing some really cool thing with potato. She's actually doing really good after her surgery. She has hit her 100-pound mark since her surgery. And
Tomatoes bloom.
what is it?
A tomato bloom?
A potato bloom?
Yeah, it's kind of like a blooming onion, but it's a potato.
Oh, it's potato bloom. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. And we have actually, I mean, I don't know if I'm just strong, like I am, but she's actually hit a mark where I can actually pick her up. So she didn't like the idea that I could pick her up, but I can pick her up now.
I need your lighter and my lighter. Somebody
Oh, I'm sorry.
stole my shit.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's just my immense strength. Not kidding. But yeah, like I said, I'm doing some teriyaki chicken. It's chicken thighs. I've got marinating in some teriyaki and soy sauce, along with a little bit of sugar to cut down on the saltiness and stuff of the soy sauce and teriyaki sauce. So hopefully that helps. You can't pick up your wife. Well, she is at 340 or so pounds right now. She's hit that mark. And I didn't realize I still, had that strength in me, but we were playing around earlier, and I ended up trying to pop her back, and at the same time, ended up picking her up. So, Jamie, how you doing? When you got married, she what? She carried you across the threshold. That's funny. Vane's been running really good. I ended up changing out the high pressure power steering line, and no more leaks, no radiator leaks, no.
I don't think Jamie knows.
No, I think last time I saw him in, I think I was talking about it a little bit. Did you hear about our upcoming edition that we have going on, Jamie? I can't remember if I told you or not last time we were talking. Gotta have my coffee every live stream. You guys know that. So I'm going to kind of point you guys down here to my work table here. Don't mind the. There we go. So got me a tater here. We've had these a week and a half. Some of them are already starting to grow some eyes. I picked off a couple of them. So you guys know what the bloomin' onion is, right? So we saw this recipe, or actually saw this recipe on like Facebook or something. And it's called the blooming potato. And all you do, it seems pretty easy to do. Cut off about the top quarter or third or whatever. Just not discards, or you can slice that up for like potato wedges or something. Yes, we are, and we're excited about it. So I'm going to cut on this potato. All I'm going to do, like I said, I cut off the top, portion of the potato, or one of the sides, or whatever you want to call it. And all I'm doing is slicing down. Just creating some circles on the inside of the potato. That's all I'm doing. So it kind of opens up. This is the first time I've done this, so hopefully it turns out all right. And then you just take some slices. Now I'm not cutting them all the way, so it's not going to actually cut the potato, but I'm making slices along the outside, a quarter inch, and I go in about a third of the way of the potato. And now the potato is going to have some give to it. It kind of cracked a little bit more than I wanted it to, but on that one. But now it kind of opens up a little bit. You can see stuff like that. So that's one done. Deer chili, that sounds really good. And if you end up slicing your finger off in the process, just pick a little tape on it. It'll be fine. Everybody likes a little ketchup on their potatoes anyway, generally. For French fries, just act like it's ketchup or something. Okay. You guys can see that that's actually separating and has some space. Like I said, about every 1/4 inch or so. That's really good to hear, Jamie. I'm glad she's been doing good. We just haven't seen much of her on. Hell, we haven't seen much of you on either. Wild hog, huh? Was it hog or wild boar? Did it have tusks? Because there's a lot of wild boar out this time of year. And to be honest, wild boar or hog or whatever it is, it tastes a lot different than domesticated pork. And again, you can see, I pull on the potato and it's got some give to it now. So.
Do you need to see the video on how they made it?
No, I know. It just added some flour and seasonings to the top of it. Push it down in there a little bit. And then bake it for like 40 minutes at 400.
They fried it.
Did they fry it?
I think they did.
Well, watch it real quick for me. I thought they baked it at like 400.
Yeah, they fried it.
Okay.
They
Oh,
baked it
okay.
for an hour and then they put flour on it and then fried it.
They baked it for an hour?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Baked it for an hour after it's sliced and stuff.
Yeah, they put olive oil on top of it, baked
Yeah.
it for an hour, and then put the flour on it and seasonings and then fried it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Baked it at 400.
One more to Yeah, wild boar can get really bad in some places. It was really bad here in Missouri for a few years. I mean, like so far to the point they were calling in out of state hunters to track them down and find them and kill large packs of them because they would get into residential areas and tear so much stuff up. Okay, so I've got these set out. I'm gonna rinse off the tops a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna put them in the oven. My oven is preheated to 400. I always put parchment paper down. They cook them upside down or right side up
Right side up.
in the oven.
Good job again. Should have watched the video, Sarah.
Well, I was slicing, sweetheart.
Olive oil. 1 hour. That's
Okay.
this show.
That's all it says. Okay. So I got my olive oil. Got my screechy door. Okay. So all I'm doing is drizzling a little olive oil on top. A little bit more than just a little bit, but oh well, get down in there. Go in the oven for about an hour. Now, in the meantime, yeah, it looks like a really good recipe. Ashley finds all kinds of stuff on Facebook that she likes me to try. So these, I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put. I want this to sit for just a few more minutes. So I'm gonna have a quick cigarette because I got another hour before everything's gonna be done, and I want everything to be timed right. So I'm going to chat with you guys for just a couple minutes. Then I'm going to get going on the chicken. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sear it in a pan so the skin isn't so like rubbery and dry when it comes out of the oven. Well, hi, Melody. Long time no see. Wow. It has been forever since we've seen you. No, I've had this cough for the past month almost. Oh, month. And it's just kind of gotten my voice kind of raspy sounding. How have you been doing? Well, you just missed the potato portion, the first portion of the potatoes. I'm doing a blooming potato, and it's kind of similar to a blooming onion. I cut circles on the inside. Or I slice off like the top quarter of a potato, or the side or top, or whatever you call it. and then I take and I slice around on the inside, like big circles on the inside. And then on the edges, along all the edges, the whole edge of the potato, every quarter or eighth of an inch or so, I slice, not all the way through the middle, but just like that far into the potato, and just to get it down the side. And then I top it with olive oil, toss it in the oven for about an hour on 400. Trying to stay warm. Why? How cold is it there? Well, lots has happened since you've seen one of my live streams, Melody. It's been what, 2 months? A month at least? No. Yeah, it's been a while. Well, we got a new van. Not new, but a different van, one that runs. And it was kind of cheap, so I had to fix a couple little things on it, but it wasn't anything expensive or outrageous or hard to do. Each thing ended up taking me, I think the longest thing took me about 3 hours, and that's because one of the nuts on the end of the pipe was extremely hard to get to, and I had to wiggle my fat arm into that little spot. Yeah, no more walking to the store, or taking lifts or Ubers or hitching a ride with our neighbor or anything. We can take ourselves. And biggest news is that we have a new addition coming to our family here in about 6 months. So we have been planning for that. Been getting all kinds of baby stuff. We don't know if it's a boy or girl yet, so we've been getting kind of neutral stuff. No. Okay. Little explanation to this. Ashley isn't pregnant. We have a good friend of ours that is having an unplanned pregnancy. She was on birth control and cannot deal with another baby in her life. And we are we were taking it because otherwise she would put it up for adoption. But she figured, hey, I want to ask you guys first, see if you guys want to. I know you guys have been trying, and we emphatically said yes. You watched last night and you didn't say anything? How dare you? How dare you come into my channel and not say anything? I'm kidding with you, Melody. If you didn't want to say anything, that's fine. I understand. It's going to be turned over at birth, and our names are going to go on the birth certificate. So it's not going to need anything like that. It was afterwards. Okay. Some states, not all states, allow you to do that. And we're one of the adoption at birth friendly states. I've been doing a lot of research on it and stuff. And that's actually how, because our friend, she was actually adopted. And she actually had her first child get adopted to her grandmother? To her grandmother. And that's how they did it that way too. And it was in this state. So, nothing like that's going to be involved. It's basically at the hospital. It's just a mother's rights state type thing. It's whatever the mother wants. So if the mother wants that done and we agree to it and we're there and everything like that, then that's what'll be done. Yeah, it is awesome. It really is, because we've been trying and it's been a no-go since. Um, but her Ashley's health is still getting better and stuff like that. So it could be down the line, and if so, then we'll have two babies. And we're not we're excited about it either way. Thank you, Melody. Ashley's actually watching. She's in the chat, so okay. So I've had this chicken marinating for about half an hour. Um, when you have a marinade and it's extremely salty, and there's a lot of salt content in the marinade, you don't want to marinate it like overnight or anything like that. And uh, if you leave it out for like a half an hour, it's even if you leave it sit on the counter for like a half an hour, even at the most an hour, it's not going to be at temperature long enough to be unsafe. So what I do is I don't when I have a marinade like this, it's a teriyaki sauce soy sauce blend. I add a little bit of sugar to it, which helps cut down on the saltiness of the soy sauce. Um, if I have brown sugar, sometimes I do that, but generally I just let it marinate in the mixture of teriyaki sauce, soy sauce, and some sugar. Not like a whole bunch. Just I basically take a handful of sugar and toss it in there, and I let it sit on the counter for about a half an hour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sear it in a skillet so that when it bakes, the skin isn't going to get rubbery and dried out and just nasty, because I know Ashley and Andrew like to eat skins. So uh, it adds a little flavor and texture to the skin. And it doesn't have to bake as long either. So I'm going to bring you guys over here. I'm going to let my skillet heat up to get pretty hot. Well, hi, Carrie. So I'm going to get a little bit more coffee. Wow, Dreamy Genie, how are you? Long time no see. What? Get a bunch of people in here haven't seen in a while. I guess tonight's just the night to see everybody. So, I've got my skillet. I've got my chicken. Like I said, it's been sitting in the marinade for about a half an hour. I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil. About a tablespoon of olive oil. And I don't want to drip, so I'm getting my bag kind of close to the pan, but not too close to burn the bag or melt it. And what I'm going to do is I'm putting my chicken. These are bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. We like chicken thighs because it's a good mixture between white and dark meat, and it has good moisture to it. You want that to hear that sizzling. I'm putting it skin side down because that's what I'm wanting to sear. It doesn't take long to sear it, guys. It really doesn't. So I'm going to get ready. Freaky Geek, hey, how you doing? Okay, that one's done. You guys can see that it's nice and brown. The skin is pulling up. That's how I want it to be. So it's going to be skin side up. It's going to pull a lot of moisture out, but that's going to be okay because I'm going to be cooking it in moisture. So okay, you guys can see that it's nice and brown. Okay, so that's not browned how I want it. I'm going to put these in here because I'm going to pour this mixture in. Okay, this one looks to be seared okay. I want it. There we go. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this chicken and the rest of this marinade and pour right into it. And what's going to happen is that chicken, the proteins in that chicken went, when it was cooking, went like this, and it pulled all of that juice out. So now when it's going to rest and it's going to cook kind of slowly, it's going to open up those proteins again, and it's going to allow all that juice to run in there. I didn't want the chicken skin to get all dried out and stuff. It's going to be kind of crispy when it comes out because it's going to absorb a lot of that. The chicken itself is going to absorb a lot of that juice. And about halfway through, I'm going to actually take out a lot of the juice. I just want it to cook in the juice a lot of time.
Told you I'm not going to keep talking to you. You get home, you get your 15 minutes, you get your chores done. It shouldn't take you more than an hour at max to get all your chores done. That means you should be done by 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay, so the chicken is in the oven.
Do whatever you want.
The potatoes are in the oven.
Instead, you dick around.
Okay, so what do I miss, guys?
Why are you running the clock? I forget about that.
No, Freaky Geek, that was plenty big enough because I was rotating pieces in and out and stuff. Who's Punisher? Oh, okay. There, I see that one person. Yes, I'm barefoot in my kitchen. I don't have nasty stuff all over my kitchen floor and dirt. It gets swept regularly. So I don't mind being barefoot in my kitchen. I'm at home, and that's what I like about being able to do these kind of things because I'm at home. And a lot of you guys, if you're sitting and you're taking time cooking something for a meal, you're not going to want to be in shoes. Why be in shoes in your own home? Be comfortable. Hey, Stringfield, how are you doing? So I'm gonna wait for my stovetop to cool down a little bit. I got my chicken in the oven. My potatoes are in the oven. I'm gonna get my fryer out here in a minute so I can fry those potatoes. And after they come out of the oven and cool off for a minute, that way I can actually pick them up. But yeah, this is sent out to be a really good dinner. So yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with being barefoot in your own home. Be comfortable. Don't, if you're not going to wear shoes normally in your own house, why wear shoes while you're cooking? I like these live streams because I like to interact with you guys. How I normally cook food, how I normally do dinner, how I normally do this kind of stuff. And I'm not formal in my own home. I mean, I'm not going to sit around and do a live stream in boxers, although I saw a thing on the news the other day where they had an underwear run or something, and they were showing on the news a bunch of guys in their briefs. So I mean, it's not something that is crude, but I'm not going to be cooking in my underwear, so I'm going to be cooking in clothes and stuff like that. So. No, Freaky Geek, we told you about the pregnancy thing and what's going on with that before. I think we told you, didn't we? Didn't I explain that situation? If not, you'll have to go back and watch my live streams and find out. Yeah, even in the meantime, we're going to still be trying because Ashley likes the idea of being pregnant and actually carrying the child and stuff. It's really, really cool to have this close friend of ours because we can, if we just got a surrogate or adopted, we wouldn't be able to see the progress of the pregnancy, see the belly grow and stuff like that. Being able to hear the heartbeat as soon as we can and stuff. So a lot of advantages of having a friend like we have doing this for us because we get to follow very closely with the pregnancy. No, Freaky Geek actually came in last night and we talked. I explained it to him. And I don't really do streams during the early part of the day. Mine are evening cooking chats. So I don't really do morning, evening streams. I don't know how that work out. Doing an evening cooking chat in the morning. I got to fold it. No, I'm the one putting the buns in the oven. She's the one that just carries the bun. She's just the oven. I'm the cook. So it works out. Bread doesn't turn out right every time. Y'all are funny. Well, howdy, Jack. Nice to see you in my live stream. If you're new to my channel, you just came in or you just joined, what I do in my live streams is I do basically any kind of dinner that I have to actually prepare and cook of any way. I do it on a live stream, show everybody how to do it right, and from there, once I get like things in the oven or when I have time to sit and chat, like now I've got about another half an hour to kind of sit and chat with you guys. I do, and that's why I call it Eat Cook, because cooking, I'm preparing the foods and getting everything ready or in the oven and halfway done, and then I chat with you guys, and then I finish everything up that I need to finish up, and I always end by leaving you guys with a bite of whatever I cooked. Well, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, Stringfield, tonight I've got teriyaki chicken. It's already seared and in the oven. And when I do something like that, and it's something like bone-in skin on chicken breast or chicken thighs or anything like that, I always like to sear it first before I put it in the oven, because when you put it in the oven and bake it, it like kind of turns the skin chewy and stuff like that. I know there's some in this house that like to eat the skin, so searing it gives it flavor and doesn't allow it to get rubbery. So that's in the oven, and I've got what's called blooming potatoes that I'm trying out for the first time, and it's something that Ashley saw on Facebook. It's basically kind of like a blooming onion. You slice the potato up a certain way, you put it in the oven, let it cook, and then you take it out, flour it and season it a little bit, and then you fry it up, and there we go. Well, Jack, what I do is if I'm cooking something that I've never cooked before, or even if it's something I've cooked before and I know others, it's going to be like a recipe that I'm baking something, then what I do is I do a general Google search. I do recipes where the normal home cook can do. Nothing, where you have to have strenuous baking equipment like mixers and this and that. It's things that the normal person would have in their house. I don't go out. I don't buy specific things for each recipe that I do. I go out, I do my shopping, and then whatever I have at the house, I figure out a recipe for it. And if I want something, I do a Google search for it. If I don't have a specific recipe, I might tweak it a little bit, or I'll just do another Google search or without whatever, and then whatever recipe comes up with that substitute or without that specific ingredient, then that's what I do. Yeah, she goes through stalls, and we've seen it happen where she'll stall with losing weight, and then she'll pick back up and she'll lose another 10 pounds in a week. So it varies. It doesn't happen like every day she doesn't lose a pound. She'll lose 2 or 3 pounds a day for like a week, and then she'll stop, and then she'll lose another 2 or 3 pounds, and then she'll stop for 2 weeks, and that's how it goes, because the body is still learning how to process that food and stuff like that. And it doesn't help that she doesn't get the full amount of protein that she needs every day. 60 grams of protein, unless you're spending lots of money to get a lot of foods that are extremely high in protein and you only eat those foods, it's extremely hard to be able to do that. That is awesome, Carrie. I'm glad things are going good. You always have Ashley to message and talk to anytime. She's a month or two ahead of you with the surgery, and she can help you with things. Granted, she doesn't have some problems that 95% of every person that has had the surgery does, like what is that called? My brain went dead for a second.
Dumping.
Like dumping. She doesn't have dumping syndrome. She can eat crazy amounts of sugar if she
Show 'em
wanted
what I
to.
can eat.
But give you an idea. She can eat ding dongs. She can eat ice cream sandwiches. She can drink soda. Granted, it's diet, but she doesn't get dumping syndrome like 95% of everybody that's had the surgery does. So, it limits her on the amount of food she can eat. She can't eat pasta like she used to be able to. She can't sit down and eat, a plate this big full of spaghetti and then come back and eat another half of her no. She can't do that anymore like she used to. And she used to be able to go out to eat. Perfect example. Okay. Perfect example. We went out to Applebee's last week. Applebee's has all you can eat riblets, shrimp, and chicken. Well, we explained to the waitress, hey, she just had gastric bypass. When you get gastric bypass surgery, they give you a card. Well, most doctors here do. If you're going out to eat, it allows the restaurant or whatever to understand that you can't eat as much. And it asks them to give you permission to order off of the kids menu or seniors menu. That way you're not paying as much because you're only eating this much food. Well, the waitress was really nice about it. And I said, is there any way, because she's not going to eat, very much at all. And she really wants these riblets, but there's no way we're going to pay $15 for all you can eat if she's going to excuse me, if she's only going to eat one or two riblets. They allowed us to get one all you can eat and for her to be able to share off my plate. Well, lo and behold, the waitress actually saw that she couldn't eat much because she ended up eating one riblet, 1.5 full riblets, and 5 pieces of shrimp. So now she's an extremely cheap date. We can go anywhere and she can eat like this much and pay $5 for her to eat, and we're good to go. Okay, Stringfield, you have a good night. Thanks for coming in for a little bit of time you were able to. I really appreciate it. But yeah, they allowed us to do that, and our bill was $24 after tip. So, and I tipped like 20% because they allowed us to do that, and it was really kind of them and stuff like that. First time that we actually been to a restaurant since our surgery, and it wasn't. I mean, I've heard horror stories of people going into restaurants and having too many choices and not knowing or being able to choose anything, and then having enough food to take home for the next week. But when you can do something like that, and they understand, and it's like, hey, well, let's just do this. I can eat all I want. I ate like 4 plates of riblets, a plate of shrimp, a plate of chicken, and I ate all I wanted. And then she got the little bit she could eat, and it filled her up. When you see cheap dates at Walmart, huh? I didn't know they had Walmarts in Canada. No, I know they got Walmarts everywhere. Yeah, this could be a baby girl. But the thing is we have got about 95% of everything we need, or will be getting very soon. If it's a girl. If it's a boy, we'll need clothes. But girls have been abundant in everybody we know. Her sister has a baby.
My sister just had a girl.
Her sister just had a girl.
And our friend already has 2 girls.
Our friend that's pregnant for us already has 2 girls and still has all their baby clothes because she just likes to keep stuff. And I mean, we've got lots of ways to be able to get baby girl stuff and clothes, but we've already got a crib, we've got a changing table, we've got bouncers and swings and all the amenities for a baby. So is it too late if you start working at 20? No, you start working at any age. It's never too late to start working. You go to college, you learn a trade, you'll be good. You go to work at any age.
As long as you're of the age to work.
Yeah, as long as you're old enough to work, go to work. Well, have you been going to school? Have you just been lazy and living with mom and dad? I mean, there could have been a extenuating circumstance. I mean, anything could happen at any time. And if you don't need to go to work until you're 21, 22, because your parents do it for you and they want to, and they haven't been pushing yet, you're going to be working the rest of your life, bud. Have fun. Oh, well, Jack, you don't need to worry about that. You've been going to college, you've been doing an internship, you've been getting experience. So once you get that experience, you get done with that internship and you start getting paid, it's going to be well worth it because you're going to not just be paid, you're going to be well paid.
I have a career.
And there's a difference between a job and a career. If you have a career, you're going to be doing good because that's what you're going to be set in, and you're going to be working there for years and years and years and doing that same and getting so much experience and learning and you're going to end up being paid better than somebody that has a job. and you're going to be set in it. No. People aren't going to think you're lazy because you've been setting yourself up to actually have a good job, a good career, well, rather than. And there's lots of people that don't have jobs until their mid-20s because they've been going to college or. So don't feel bad. You're actually kind of doing it the right way. And like I said, if you've just been lazy, not wanting to get a job, or your parents have been bugging you about it, and stuff like that, then yeah. But if you've been doing other things, if you've been setting yourself up to have a career, then there's no reason to be embarrassed or anything about that. Yeah, well, they're working because that's something that they just want to do extra. They are going way above and beyond what they need to do, or maybe they don't have. If you're not working and you're going to college and you're doing the internship is working. An internship is getting on-job experience. You're just not getting paid for it because you're setting yourself up. If you do good at that internship, you're setting yourself up to be a very well-paid person in that company. And some companies don't hire you until you do an internship. So you're just setting yourself up for a better situation than working at McDonald's or Burger King for the rest of your life. So don't feel embarrassed that you're not working yet. It's a thing that you're setting yourself up for a better life. Okay, so what I did basically is I took the chicken out. You guys saw what I did, but I took the chicken out. I drained 90% of the juice off of it. I turned the skins, the chicken over while I did that. That way it was able to get some moisture on it. And I'm putting it back in the oven for about another 20 minutes and they'll be done. I'm going to get my fryer out. That way I can be ready for the potatoes when they're done here in about 10 minutes, if that. Well, Jack, let me put it to you this way, bud. Okay. If you want to go out and you want to get a job and you want to take those hours away from other things that you're doing, you're still very young. Okay. You are an adult and you have the ability to make those choices. If you want to go out and you want to get a job and you want to do that kind of thing that everybody else is doing, then go out and get one. You're in college, you're having an internship. There's paid internships and there's unpaid internships. You must have an unpaid internship. But the internship is work experience. Internships are your way of getting, or a company's way of getting your foot in the door with them. If you have an internship with a company and it's along your career path, then it's setting you up to win. Okay? Those people who have jobs now and they're your same age and whatever, that's great. But is their job in their career field? Is their job what they're going to college for? No, it's not a career yet. It's a job. It's maybe flipping burgers at McDonald's or something like that. And it's not what they're going to be doing. So they're not getting that work experience. You're actually getting work experience. You can put that on an application. If you go into that same field after you get out, and they look at that better than, okay, I went and worked at McDonald's, which has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but I'm going to put it on my application anyway, just to have, some kind of work experience. So what you're doing is actually getting work experience. You're getting career experience. If it's in the same field that you're going to want, if it's the same kind of job you're going to want, you complete this internship, that company most likely will hire you once you, get your degree and stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to have that money because, you're being supported because your parents see what you're doing, or maybe you have inheritance or whatever. If you don't have to work and you don't want to, don't worry about it. Those other people are just, if they're working some dead end job while they're going to college, they're just wearing themselves out. Yeah, your priority is your school. Your priority is your degree. And that's what you need to focus on. Don't focus on, oh, well, I mean, you think you're being, stressed out by internship?
Yeah.
Get a job.
Good job. Get
Work
your
at
house.
McDonald's or Burger King while you're going to college. You won't see, you don't know what stress is now until you do something like that. Be a kid while you still can. Well, if you got financial aid and that's able to support you and do everything you need, don't stress yourself out about job. Well, see, that's something you need to get taken care of while you're young. Take care of your body. And I know eczema is brought on by stress. That's one of the causes of it, or one of the reasons it inflames. So don't stress yourself out if you don't have to. You're working an internship, so you're working a job. You may be working an internship in your career field. And if that's, I mean, when you get hired as a paid, after your internship, you get hired onto that company,
You'll appreciate it.
you're going to appreciate it better because they're going to actually have you doing better work rather than going out and flipping burgers while you were in college because you needed extra money to be able to do this and that and worry about everything else. Take this internship as a blessing because not everybody gets to be able to be in an internship in their career field. I don't know what you're, planning on doing or what kind of work you're interning in or anything like that. But see your internship as a blessing because you're enjoying what you're doing. Nobody's going to get an internship in a place they're not going to enjoy. And once you get hired, companies that have internships are more likely to keep the workers, their employees, longer. Their employees are happier and everything like that. Low-paying jobs don't have internships or unpaid internships. I'll tell you that. So take it as a blessing and just enjoy what you're going through right now and what you're doing. Oh, that's exciting, Jack. Yeah, have fun with that. Have fun with it every bit that you can. Because once you get past that internship stage, it's going to be a lot better for you. I guarantee it. It's going to get a lot better once you get past that internship stage. Okay. So, potatoes are done in the oven. So I'm going to let them cool for a couple minutes. I'm still letting my fryer heat up. Chicken still has a little bit more in the oven. Oh, Jack. A team of women? Wow. Look at your friends that have their doing whatever. They're not teaming up with a bunch of women. The only guy in a group of women. Come on. What's awkward about that? That's where you have fun. I mean, don't make it like sexual harassment or anything. Don't get anything bad. But, have fun with it. Get to know them. You could meet a lifelong partner in that kind of a situation. Okay. Well, coming out on my live stream and talking and chatting will help. Okay. Um, Getting into live streams and talking to other people. If you are a YouTube fan and you like doing this generally, I don't know how you found my channel. I appreciate that you do, or that you did. And I appreciate the ability to give you this kind of advice. And I try to get people to talk. When I get on a live stream, I'm still myself. I'm not one of these that, you know, becomes somebody totally different just because I'm joking around on whatever. So, okay, Melody, you have a good evening. Thank you for joining my live stream. I really appreciate it. I missed you. Make sure you get my next one. So, but try to open up more to people. And I know some people are introverts, and it takes a long time to get used to talking to somebody. But being in the situation you are, see it as a learning experience. Don't um, don't think that they're judging you. I know a lot of people think that people judge others for so many things, and a lot of people do. But unless somebody actually comes out and says something to you that is offensive, don't take it to heart, because you don't know exactly what could be, you know, those people could be saying. So being in this kind of a group, if it's just a small group of girls, take it as, you know, an advantage, because generally men who are introverts can't talk to women or find it harder to talk to women. This will help you to open up. It'll help you to be able to uh, get it in your head that you can, because you have to in a situation like that. And then just take it and roll with it. Because you're a slow laptop. Well, how slow is your laptop? Because social media marketing, that kind of a, I have a degree in computer science. I know so much about computers and social media and stuff like that. I have been through the ringer on all of it. Um, Social media, you could get a Chromebook, and you know you got to get on a browser. Really long. Okay, what kind of a laptop do you have? Do you have a Chromebook? Um, you might have to invest in another laptop, something that's a little faster. Chromas go really slow if you have a lot of extensions open, um, and if you have a lot of things going on with Chrome, and you've got other applications in the background open, things like that. So make sure you're not running too much when you're opening Google Chrome, or use Firefox, um, or something like that that allows you to be able to open things faster. I know Firefox is, you know, really, or Opera. Um, Now the battery in a laptop isn't going to affect how fast things open. Um, I'm just trying to think of different things for you, bud.
Are they deleted any sketch data?
No, it's on a laptop. You don't do that on a laptop. Okay, well, you might have to get some new RAM into it or something, because you should be able to open up Chrome just fine. Even on a slower laptop, an older laptop, you should be able to open Chrome. There's something going on. You may have some malware. Get a good antivirus software and run a scan, things like that. See if something's bogging things down. If you have a lot of extensions, delete all the extensions and add-ons in your Chrome browser. Laptops have integrated graphics, freaky. So he's not going to be able to get a separate graphics card for it. Not necessarily integrated, but it might be integrated with the processor, but onboard graphics. Okay, well, okay. My email is in the description, Jack. If you want to email me and, let me know what kind of computer you have and stuff like that, I can kind of help you and work you through trying to speed it up and help you out. Yeah, I can tell you only use a PC. Graphics cards don't work with laptops because there's nowhere to put them. There's no PCI slots or anything like that. So let the potatoes cool off for a couple minutes. That way I can handle them okay. I'll give you a good example of my capabilities with hardware and stuff like that. I recently got a desktop PC. I've been using laptops for a lot of things. My desktop that I got a basically, how old would it be? Like 7 or 8 year old graphics card in it. I've got 8 gigs of RAM in it. I've got an older, kind of slower processor. But the way I have set up, I've got my graphics card overclocked to the point where it's twice the speed that it would normally run. I can run games that don't normally run on PCs, or they're very slow. I can run those. My processor, it has the capabilities of a 2-year-old PC rather than a 5-year-old PC that it is. So I have the ability to help you out a little bit. Okay, Freaky, you have a good night. I'm getting ready to kind of work with dinner here in just a second and get things kind of finished up. Chicken's been in long enough. I'm turning that off. I'm gonna let that sit in there and cool off and soak up some of that juice as the oven cools off. Getting ready to fry this bloomin' potatoes. Andrew, out. Andrew, go. Okay, so I got my potatoes. They've been in the oven. They were in the oven for about an hour. They're really fragile. They're well cooked all the way through. Gotta get my flour container. What's that? Oh, got a bowl. Want to get some seasonings. My fryer's just about to temperature. I don't need my apron for this because I'm not really doing much with it. The flour. Okay, so just flour, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of mixed black pepper, No, it's my flour jar, bud. A little bit of garlic powder. A little bit of seasoning salt. And just a splash of chili powder. Okay. Mix that up. And then just kind of put her over the top of my potatoes. They're kind of falling apart a little bit because they're soft. I want to kind of get it patted in there. I want to kind of hold them together a little bit. I want to get that flour in between those cracks. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, my seasoning's back. I'm going to bring you guys back over here. Now, one at a time. So I can figure out how to do this, right? I want to fry them. It's not going to take long. I've actually never made kale chips, so I couldn't tell you. I would have to Google that for you. What? Almost. Here's the chicken. I know the skin's kind of dark, but it adds a lot of flavor and it's nice and crispy. So, I'm going to let that chicken cool while I'm doing this. Sweet smell. A lot of people say that about my cooking. And when it comes to cooking, I'll do anything. I've done live streams of everything you can think of, from bread and cookies to stir fry, grilling pork steaks and hamburgers and ribs, a little bit of everything. So if you like food and like seeing how to cook, then you'll enjoy my channel. And like I said, I don't do anything that is going to cost an arm and a leg to cook. Excuse me. Nice and crispy. Thank you, Dreamy Genie. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Jack. Andrew. Got a big old fish fryer, huh? Frying fish is fun. But other than like fish fillets that are breaded and brought from the store, Ashley doesn't really care for fish much. That was kind of falling apart. Ah. It did fall apart. This one did. I'll dip it in a little flour over here. And our son Andrew, he doesn't like fish at all, so. Oh, I love salmon, but Ashley doesn't at all. And this one's falling apart on me too. So that's that with that pan. Okay. So you guys saw how those were cooked. I like to see you do the sticky fish times. Yeah, no, I'm good. So you guys can see how I prepare this. I'm going to take me a tater. All right. Take me some, actually, a little bit of sour cream. Push it down in there a little bit. Get it in between all the little nooks and crannies. And if you have little bacon bits or scallions, if you like those, you can do that. It's kind of loaded up like a loaded baked potato for now. Whatever kind of cheese you like. Okay. Nice piece of chicken here. And then I was going to do some green beans, but it's already late enough and stuff. I'm just going to have this as a dinner. This would be plenty for us. Okay, so from here, it's like a fried baked potato, kind of like a middle between a French fry and baked potato. So oh yeah, that's like perfect mixture between a French fry and a baked potato. So I don't like the skin on my chicken, but I'll show you guys. The skin, instead of being dead and lifeless, is crisp, is not rubbery. You have to cut through it with a knife instead of pull it apart. You can hear the crispness. And it doesn't, it just it separates. And look at that chicken just pull apart. So that's nice and done. I always leave you guys with a bite of whatever I'm eating. That way you can see. But that's tonight, a couple things. I'm going to leave you with a couple bites. This is the chicken. It's actually really, really good. It's not chewy. It's not overly done. It's like perfect. And this here is the potato. You guys, thanks for joining my chat. I really appreciate anybody new that came in. And if there's ever any way I can help anybody, you know I will. So I leave my email in the description. If you feel like you have extra dollars or pennies laying around or in PayPal, my PayPal's in the description. It always helps out. Potatoes, chicken, whatever. Helps me, my channel a little bit and stuff. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that like button for me. And until next time, guys. This is so good. Have a good night.